in the process of this search, we are looking for information. We are collecting information. So maybe I will repeat myself now, but it is of high importance to understand what, who, when, where, and how it happened. So this information we are collecting covers all these questions and gives answers to them, providing us with the necessary information to translate in a thoughtful way. If we are translating, for example, a contract, we haven't translated them yet, but in general, it is important to understand what the subject of the contract is, what type of, what area of law it covers, if it concerns property, or if it concerns intellectual rights, or a lease, or it is of high importance to understand when we see the word contract or dohovir, it doesn't give us any idea. Sometimes it it also has the words like service provision agreement or contract. Sometimes it doesn't. But anyway, it is vague and unclear. When we read this contract, we understand what area of law is covered and what exactly it is about, what the subject of the contract is. So when we understand the subject of the contract, it would be very good to read something about the differences between Ukrainian law and, for example, American law or British law. It depends on the country. This the party, the other party of the contracts is from, because there are different terms, and we should take it into account. So, but I skipped to the fourth question: is where. So. Why do we need this understanding? Just to see if, for example, we are not able to translate something, some terms or some parts of the contract, and we find it difficult to find it to read it into the target language. It's usually because the law systems are different, but still we must be able to find equivalents and translate them. The next question is who. We must find out what the parties of the contract are. What does it mean? Who they are? Here I mean the companies or individuals that sign the contract. What country they belong to, what their business types are, how they are rendered into English, because business types are absolutely different in Ukrainian and English. And though we have some equivalents that are conventionally used, we should know them, but we should also understand that these business types are different, and sometimes it is important while translating if we can see some contradictions, and we should find a way out to settle these contradictions and make them not confusing but clearly cut and understood. If any individuals are mentioned, we should first of all know how to translate them, their names into English, or we should check if this person is quite well presented on the internet and find the name on the internet. If it is name, we know how to render it traditionally. If it is a surname, most likely this surname has already been used in English, or it is English but just written in Ukrainian. And we also look for this information and use what we have found. When it happens, if we are talking about the contract, well, it is sometimes important to know if it is a new one or an old one, and if it is old one, we take it into account. If we are dealing with the dates, and we always deal with dates in contracts, we should find out what country it goes to and what is the specific way of writing dates in this very country, what comes first, month of day or day of the month, and so on and so forth. We will talk about it later, but to avoid the confusion, I prefer to write months in letters. I never put it with dots and numbers, because if the recipient country has the reverse order, it may be confusing. I've already mentioned about where it's highly important where the project is going on, and or where the contract is signed and what country is going to be used in. And taking into account, we find out the differences in terminology between, for example, British and American English, and we choose the appropriate uh, variation of the English language to for English speakers using this very contract or any other document, not to be confused and to read the terminology they're used to. How? What do we mean by how? How is the way things are done in both source language context and the target language context. Sometimes there are differences. Sometimes there are cultural differences, or legal or personal individual differences, and we take it into account. If we are talking about some kind of program involving training, for example, or application of different psychological methods and so on, we should know and understand and collect this information on how these methods, for example, are described, how they were described, what they mean, and what kind of processes are described in this very document or text or article. And when we understand it completely, then we are able to use target language to express the same, to render the same information. And by searching anything, we are collecting information. And this information is about the subject matter of the document or article, or any kind of text. And who are involved. We are looking for the time scale and other things answering the question when. We understand where this happens, and where the target audience is. And we understand the differences, which is how. So we understand the process. By searching for this information and collecting this information, we get aware. We have this awareness and deep understanding of what we are translating about.